Hey, this is Tory Magoo 44. Thank you for coming by. I'm actually making this. I'm just going to make a little video. I thought I'd make it for my ex-husband now, Harold. And I thought, I don't know that I'm going to be able to tell you this at the picket, because I thought about it and it's probably going to be loud, and Scientology will probably be having real loud things played so nobody can hear it. So I just thought about it a little bit, and I thought I'd, just tell you a few things right now. And that is, we got married May 25th, 1974. We were on course together, and we were actually doing the tiaras, kind of bull baiting and goofing around together. And I was actually teasing him. I knew he had a big thing on farts, right? So I was teasing him on being a shoe salesman, right? And how and this guy's going, nah, I don't think this is the right one. He's blowing these farts. And the guy's going like, ew. And my husband couldn't stop laughing about it. It would just be like, plump, you left, right? Okay, restart. And I said, well, I don't know about this shoe here. Let me see. I got to try it out again. I do another fart. It was very funny. I mean, he could not stop laughing about it. He has a big thing on farts, right? It's really his thing. So, I mean, it's one of the things that you can tease him about. And he'll never stop laughing about it. He couldn't never, what they call flatten the button, right? Which is like, so that you're not laughing anymore about it. So anyway, that was kind of how I met him. And then where I really fell in love with him was, one night, this guy came we were in LA org out in the academy, and this guy that was like this big Sea Org guy came in, and he said, I think it was Nate Jessup, I think. And it was one of these big wigs, and he said, okay, everyone is going to stay all night long. We're going to pound through our check sheets, and everyone's going to finish tonight. It was Wednesday night. Their stats end before Thursday at 2. Now, let's say the check sheet is this big. I had done about this much of it. So he was expecting me to do this much of it in one night. And I had done it in weeks, the other thing. So it was impossible, right? And I couldn't stay all night because I had to take my medication that I take. And so I kind of freaked out. And I said, look, I can't stay all night. And I was like ready to jump out a window. I was freaked out. And I didn't really know him. I didn't know this guy at the time. And he said, okay, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. And I'm thinking, right, he's going to handle it. And he comes back and he goes, okay, come on, let's go. And I went, okay. And I get up. And I was like really into this Sea Org thing. And I thought if they said we had to stay, we had to stay, right? So we get out in the car and I said, what happened? And he said, I just told him, my twin is hungry and it's really out tech to study when you're hungry. So I'm going to take her to get something to eat and then we'll be back. So I said, oh, okay, that's cool. So we went to Astro Burgers, which are these really cool hamburgers, and we're sitting there, and I'm just thinking, I love this guy. He's just so great. He's so much fun. I love him, right? And we have our Astro Burgers. Now, in the end, I think the party's over. We got to go back to this stupid academy for another, all-night thing. They said they'd bring in coffee and donuts at midnight, right? This is in 70, I think it was in 74, yeah, because we got married 4 months later. It was around, I think, in January. And we got married in May. So I said, so now what are we going to do? And we both lived at Celebrity Center then. It wasn't Celebrity Center. It was called the Manor Hotel. It was before it had turned into the Celebrity Center. We both lived there, and we lived on the same floor. We lived on the same floor as the Guardian's office, too, which was really funny. But anyway, we lived in the Manor Hotel, right? And so... So I said, well, now what? What are we going to do now? And he goes, we're going home. It's out tech. And I just thought, I can't believe. I was such a true believer. It was just like if they said you had to do it, that was it. You had to do it, right? And here's this guy that could think for himself in a way. Do you know what I mean? And he could. In the old days, he could. But now he's in and I'm out. It's just so weird. But for years, he was very, he could think for himself. He wasn't really, we're going along with the Sea Org, and I was like, we're doing this. It was very odd that it ended up, I woke up and left, and he's still in there. I feel really bad about it. But this is what happens. Now I've spoken out, because I wasn't going to speak out when I left. I really wasn't. I mean, we were together for years. We had a wonderful marriage. We were married for 27 years. We had a lot of fun together. I mean, a lot of fun. And we had always said, even if we did, we never could imagine breaking up, but if we ever did, we would always stay friends. We made that promise to each other. But then I woke up and left. He they got to him and convinced him that I left him, that I abandoned him. That's their big thing. You left me. And I'd say, I didn't leave you. I left a cult. You know what I mean? I didn't leave you. I didn't leave my friends. I didn't leave you. But Scientology's got their little needly stuff they do with these people, and it works. You know, you've got to have a why. That's their thing. Somebody can't just wake up and leave. That wouldn't work. Because if somebody did leave for some reasons that were logical, the next guy would say, well, she's my friend. I want to find out what she knows, right? But they can't have that because then everybody leaves. So they've got to immediately cut it off and say, no, Tory's this, Tory's that. You know, she's a failed this, or she didn't do that, or whatever. They've got to have, and Hubbard said, if you don't have dirt on somebody, make it up. So they did. They made up a bunch of crap about me, sold it to Harold. I'm amazed he bought it because he knows it's not true. I mean, for him to say, I want it off my medication, I mean, that guy's got to be seriously brainwashed. I mean, he knows the torture I went through on that. I mean, it's like, right, I want it off of it. I only want it off of it because that was the only way I could get through OT7. But it wasn't something, I didn't give a shit about it. It was something that handled epilepsy, so I never had any seizures. I fought it for years with them, and I won. I fought RTC, and I beat him on it. But the point being, now he's disconnected from me. He hasn't written me a disconnection letter, but he wrote this thing up. He called me, basically, and made up all this BS. And I said, Harold, you know that's not true. One thing after another. And I finally told him, you can tell Bill Yachty you can go to hell. Because I knew it was part of OSA, and this was some OSA thing, and sure enough, 2 days later, it's on the internet, right? And it's like, how sad is that? I was married to him for 27 years, but he picks this group over me? It's like, and there's tons of parents that I talk to. Me telling this story is one little story. But there's thousands of families that have been broken up because of the Church of Scientology. And that's why I want you guys to come pick it. And bring your friends and bring more friends. Because they do need to reconnect. And even if they don't ever come out and reconnect that day, it's going to impinge on them. Because you guys, Anonymous, are going to be there in their faces over and over. And that's going to make a difference. It already has. Tons of people have come out and spoken out that weren't ever going to... they're like shivering. They're frightened because it's a really suppressive group. It is. Scientology is a suppressive group. And they now, because of you guys and just the strength of numbers, people are like, well, I've got a voice too. It's really cool. It's been really great. And I say to everybody, come on out. Come talk to your family. Come talk to your mother. Come talk to your father. Call your brother. Call your sister. Call your aunt and uncle. Call your, whoever. Your husband, your wife. Get back in touch. What religion would say you shouldn't be in touch with your loved ones? Not any. That's the answer to that. And don't buy their stuff. Buy your heart, okay? Listen to your heart, because your heart, it knows, okay? You know what's right. Call your mother if you haven't talked to her. Call your father. Call your husband. Call your wife, okay? Call people you love, because that's all that matters in the end anyway. All the rest of this is just bullshit, okay? The only thing that matters are people you love. Okay, so take the time to love them while you can, because then they're going to be gone, and that's it. And I found out that when I was 22. My dad died overnight. Boom, gone. And everyone was like, oh my God, I wanted to say this and that to him. Too late. Should have thought of that earlier. He's gone. Dead. Over. So that happens to a lot of people, and in Scientology it happens to a lot of people. So I highly recommend you do what L. Ron Hubbard did, way out is the nearest door, okay? Find it and come on out and join us, all right? And I have a great time this Saturday, and I will see you there. Bye.